over the holidays, I got quite a lot of books as gifts, which is really good. And I also got myself some books as well, which is also really good. Because Treat Yourself 2017. The first of these books is Philip K. Dick's Blade Runner. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Blade Runner was based on this book, which is why I got confused about what book it was. But it's actually Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Apparently the movie is more of a based on thing than kind of a faithful adaptation, so I'm quite interested to see what's actually different in the book, so that we can maybe compare the two. Let's compare this with the movie. A lot of Philip K. Dick's books have been adapted into movies, like Total Recall, The Adjustment Bureau, Blade Runner, A Scanner Darkly, and Minority Report. Wow, look at all these films. Those were blockbusters, but how do I not know Philip K. Dick? Well, you probably should know him, and it's good that I'm finally reading this book, because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. Also, the book is about artificial intelligence, like my buddy over here. Someone whose name is going to appear right over here once compared Philip K. Dick to Charles Dickens. There are no heroes in Dick's books, but there are heroics. One is reminded of Dickens. What counts is the honesty, constancy, kindness, and patience of ordinary people. Now, I do have to say that Ursula isn't just someone. She's an American novelist of science fiction and fantasy books, and I probably should check her work out. The main reason I brought this up is because I got this as a gift as well. Charles Dickens's Oliver Twist. Now, I've tried reading Charles Dickens before. I tried. And when I say I tried, I really tried. I tried reading A Tale of Two Cities, which I have over here. But I couldn't get into it no matter what I tried. So it'll be interesting to see if Oliver Twist will be different, whether I'll persevere through the storm, or whether I find out that the storm is actually a smooth breeze with probably tears, because I know what Oliver Twist is about. Maybe it's an interesting book. It probably is. It garnered some attention. If it turns out that Oliver Twist is really, really nice, then I might try and read A Tale of Two Cities again. And from Philip K. Dick to Charles Dickens to Moby-Dick. With all of these Dicks, I feel like everyone's expecting for the next book to be by Freud. But it's this. Where is the title? It's upside down. It's Moby-Dick. I don't know a lot about Moby-Dick, but what I do know is that there's a whale, a white whale I think, and then there's this grumpy guy called Ahab, and he's grumpy for a reason because he can't get that Moby-Dick, and it makes him very upset. There's probably also a metaphor involved somewhere. This is The Final Empire. It's the first book in a series. It's a fantasy series called the Mistborne trilogy, I think. I think there are 3 books, and then there are standalone books as well. It's by Brandon Sanderson, which sounds nice, I guess. Now, there's a tagline on the cover of this book that says, "What if the Dark Lord won?" Combine that with the castle and the Dementor-like figure that's like floating there, I'm just reminded of Harry Potter. But I'm also reminded of Star Wars, because this book is set in a universe world where the Dark Lord has won. And in Star Wars, it's all about the Empire that has won, and it's about standing up and fighting the rebellion. So I assume that this will also feature a rebellion of sorts, where we will find a hero who will revolt against the evil authorities and make the world a happy place again, maybe? People have told me that this book has quite an interesting magic system, which is related to iron, metal, or something. You ingest it, and then you have magical powers. We'll see if it's interesting or not, but if there's anything I love, then it's a magic system that's done well, which is cohesive. Maybe there's some thematics involved, symbolism, yeah, stuff like that. Honestly, I just want to talk about and discuss these systems of magic, like in The Name of the Wind, which I'll be doing in my next video, which has a very interesting type of magic. Which brings us to the next book, The Slow Regard of Silent Things. This is a novel by Patrick Rothfuss, and it's related to 2 other novels, The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear. Now, it has a very pretty cover, which is to be expected if you look at the other 2 novels, but this is not set in the same trilogy as the 2 other books. This is a side novel, just like in his Dark Materials you have Lyra's Dust, which is a novel that I still need to read. I still don't know what it's about even, so I kind of want to read that. But this is like a separate spin-off, maybe? It features one of the characters that we meet in The Name of the Wind, called Ori. It's not a spoiler that I tell you this, but I can say that I'm very intrigued to read this once I've read the second novel, because apparently you need to read this after The Wise Man's Fear. Now, I think I've run out of links to get from one book to the other, but let's say that maybe I'll get there someday. The Arrival. This was also a gift. It's a graphic novel. It features pictures. The Arrival is by Shaun Tan, and it's a visual story. I almost said this one was written by Shaun Tan, but really this is a book with pictures. It's a graphic novel, and it has no text whatsoever. It's a completely visual story, which makes it pretty interesting. I got this as a gift, and I'm actually quite pleased with it, because I want to see how this story goes. The first thing you learn in filmmaking is show, don't tell. And as the first half of WALL-E has proven, you don't need dialogue to make something interesting, to tell a story, like The Arrival. The last book I have here is the Atlas van imaginaire landen, which is in Dutch, but you can already make up what it says. The Atlas of made-up countries, imaginary countries. Yeah, that's a way more literal and more accurate translation. Actually, throughout history, words have reached people about amazing lands far, far away, with treasures and wonders untold. And this book is about those countries and how maps were drawn for countries that we didn't even know existed. This book features lands that were mentioned in myths. It features lands that were mentioned as actual fact as well. For instance, centuries ago, someone thought that because there's so much landmass on the northern hemisphere, that there had to be a same amount or a similar amount of landmass on the southern hemisphere, which is not the case. But that's why he drew this large continent called Terra Australis and thought, well, it has to be there, because otherwise the world is not symmetrical, and the world that's not symmetrical is not a world I want to live in, apparently, or something. I wasn't there, I'm paraphrasing. But he did think there had to be a continent on the southern hemisphere to make up for the landmass in the north. And because he named this Terra Australis as opposed to Borealis, there's actually a country now that has the name Australia. There's actually a lot more to this theory of the southern continent, the Terra Australis. And if you want to find out more, then you can click on through to Wikipedia. The link is in the description. There's a whole page for you there to explore. So as it says in the title of this book, it's an atlas, and it features lots and lots of maps of all these countries and continents that ended up not really existing. History and hearsay distorted these facts, and I'm very pleased that I can read all about it in this book. So those are the books that I recently got. I am gonna have to start reading them. I still have another book that I want to read first though, which is the second novel of the Name of the Wind series, the Kingkiller Chronicles, and I'll be making a video about the Name of the Wind soon enough, because that is my New Year's resolution: make more videos and also sleep less. Find good ways to end my videos, that's also a good resolution, and work on my video editing.